Hey guys, Sak here from SAKITECH, and in today's video what we have a Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra running One UI 4.0. We have a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra running One UI 3.1, Android 11, Android 12. In this video what we're going to do is we are going to be doing a full comparison between these two One UI versions. So you can see the software information right here, 4.0, 12, 3.1, 11. Let's dive in. We're going to do a top to bottom comparison so you guys can see every single thing that is different, and perhaps if it's going to be worth it to try the beta or even upgrade later when it's available for everybody. So here's something new with the multi-window option. If I tap on my multitasking pane here, so let's start the pop-up view for the calculator. Now when you click on this one, there is an extra menu at the corner here. When you click that, it pins these items to the top. Okay, so normally you have to press this to bring up that menu, but with this one, look at that, I put it down, but if I click it, I can also pin it so I can exit out, maximize it, minimize it, whatever. And if I don't want it, I can tap this to make it disappear. And one more cool thing, look at the picture-in-picture window right here from YouTube. It has rounded corners. This one is square. Okay, and also to resize this, I have to go to the corner and go like this. I cannot pinch. With this one, I can now pinch to make it bigger. And I can go full screen, as you can see. So this one does not go beyond that size. I cannot make it come all the way here. With this one, oops, look at that. That's beautiful, okay? And rounded corners, square corners. Great. Oh, and real quick, there's going to be a link down below. Make sure you click that link. It's going to take you to a special Samsung website. And from here, what you can do is you can sign up for the Discover Samsung event. That's going to be running from September 20th until September 26th. If you click sign up, give your name and your email, you are going to be notified of some epic deals that you might have missed before. Foldables, wearables, TVs, every other popular product category. So that's the Samsung Discover event. Click the link down below, sign up. And of course, you can scroll all the way down to see all the details. So I'm going to look at the notifications panel. So I'm going to pull this down, okay, and you can see right off the bat we have a slight difference. The icon shapes are mostly the same, but you look at the brightness slider, this one is right underneath the quick toggles. This one is one step below the quick toggles. And then the devices and media output, this one is at the bottom, this one is at the top. When we click on these guys, they are going to look the same almost, but the One UI 4.0 has this option here that allows you to access the app known as Smart Things. So that's something new under devices. And then if I click on media output right over here, it's again different. So this one looks more clean and in my opinion nicer, and it's moved to the top a little bit. You can see we have the music share and the smart view here. Here we have the music share and the smart view. Nothing extra on this side, it's all the same, but the styling has been changed. So that's that. Now one more thing, in the quick toggles, we do have a brand new toggle on One UI 4.0. Two toggles actually. Now one of them is the processing speed. When you click this, it gives you three options. This used to be known as enhanced processing right here that only had one option. So that's changed. But the other big one over here is that you've never seen before is if you tap on the edit button, on the top we have this extra dim option. So I'm going to grab this, put it right here. We don't have this option over here. So when I click on extra dim, it reduces the brightness of the screen by a certain amount. Okay, it doesn't tell me exactly how much. Let me see if I press and hold. So there's the extra dim option. Dim the screen beyond the minimum brightness setting for comfortable viewing. Looks like you can even enable a shortcut which is going to appear right here at the bottom. So when I tap on this guy, I can enable or disable the extra dim option. And you can allow this to turn off after restart. So when you restart the phone, extra dim option automatically turns off, okay? That's a nice setting. But it's going to be under visibility enhancements, under accessibility. Again, brand new option. You're not going to find it right here. Now let's go and see what else is new. I'm going to pinch the screen. Nearly the same. There's one difference here. Look at this. This is my home screen. This empty screen is my home screen. And you see that we have a house on the top. It's a line. When I pull over, it actually dims down a little bit. You see that? When I come over here, because in my main home screen, it becomes more bright. Now over here when I choose a home screen, it's the same thing, but this one is all filled up. This one is empty right there. You can see it dims down, boom, dims up, dims down, boom, dims up. The icons at the bottom look a little bit different, and if you do go into the settings, okay, you're gonna see mostly it is the same except for this extra option, which is the same option you get when you go home and you pinch the screen. It's right here on this side right here. You can choose between Google Discover and Samsung Free. Now you can do it right from here if you so desire. We do not have that option here, but everything else, as you can see, is the same. And you can see the home version here is 13, while this is in fact 12. Let's go back out here. Let me just pinch this one more time. If you go to wallpapers, it's all going to be exactly the same. And of course, when you pinch the screen and you go into the widgets, they're also going to look different. Now, this is the old version. That's the new version. To access various different widgets for a particular application, you click it and you get these. And you can see, just out of curiosity, that we have a few additional widgets. Looks like they look almost the same with slightly more rounded corners. But overall, the big thing is the presentation is now different. And also at the top, you get recommended widgets. Here you don't. But you can search both of them. Here you can also search with voice, okay? If I click this and this, it's the same, but I do have the uninstall option right there. All right. Now there's one more cool thing. If I go outside here, let's say I try to log into one of my applications, and let's say I have both fingerprints and Face ID enabled. So let me just click on this guy right here. It's going to ask me to log in. Now you can see we have a new interface to choose between fingerprint and face, okay? So you can click here to use your face to unlock, or here for fingerprint. In the old version, it looks a little bit different, as you can see. Okay, so you can switch back and forth just like that. They still have it. It just looks a little bit different. Now let's go to the settings real quick. So the overall settings screen is all the same, but we do have some new additions. We're going to go through all that stuff. If I tap on connections, you can see it's all the same. Except we have a new menu here that's known as a SIM card manager, okay? So it looks like I can actually have a SIM card here or an electronic SIM here. Over here, I don't have that option here. If I go inside, it's nowhere to be found, okay? So that's something new, which is fantastic. And if I do go back outside, sounds and vibration, it's gonna be all the same. Nothing new here. So let's go back. We're gonna go to notifications. This is all gonna be the same, which is great. Especially, I want to take a look at the edge lighting. So let's see if there's anything different there. Okay, just a slight variation in presentation. So look at the color and look at the color. If I tap on advanced, we have duration here. We have the duration. Looks a little bit different, as you can see, but the overall effects are all the same. So that's fantastic. All right, let's go back. And I do want to quickly show you guys, if I go to display, you'll see the presentation here looks a little bit different, as you can see, but beyond that, nothing new. We have all the same options, as you can see, so that's great on this end. If I scroll down a little bit, there's going to be a new setting here. Mostly it's the same. Let me just bring it like this and like that. We have these five options, then we have 5 here, but we have 4 here. So safety and emergency is in fact a brand new option, okay? That's not going to be over here. And you can see the accounts and backup in Google have been moved down. So these two options have moved down and been separated. But then we have the safety and emergency that brings everything that has to do with safety, emergency, your medical information, emergency location service, SOS messages into one place, which makes sense. It's cleaned up a little bit, better organized. Now, when we go down a little bit more under advanced features, we now have a brand new option that says labs. And you can see these options have moved around a little bit. So the link to Windows is on the top here. For some reason, not a huge deal. But we do have this brand new labs option that's going to be experimental features. They're going to be adding more and more as they add more updates. So that's great. So that's one new menu setting under the advanced features. Under digital well-being and parental controls, let's see what we have. So I'm going to go down. And what we have now is we have a brand new driving monitor. So if I click on this guy, it's going to ask me to turn on customization service. I'm just going to turn on for now. Okay, let's see what happens. You do have to personalize your apps if you want to use the service. So if you don't want to do this, don't agree to this, I'm not going to do it right now, but it is in fact the driving monitor that monitors your driving. Actually, I was curious, so I went back and enabled it just to show it to you guys. When you click that, it says, focus on your driving, monitor your screen time while connected to your car's Bluetooth, and see which apps you're using the most. You can exclude apps such as those you use for navigation. If I click on start, these are the excluded applications for navigation. I tap on start again, and this is what you're going to see. You're going to get this display. It's going to record when you're driving. And look, you even get a little message that says, great, you have not used your phone while driving. So that's definitely a brand new feature. If you tap here, all right, so that's it. All right, but everything else here is the same. We got the bedtime, volume, bedtime, so that's great. Let's go back out. If I scroll down a little bit more, there's something here that's important as well. It was somewhere over here. Let me see. Privacy. So that's a big difference. So we have privacy. We got privacy. They now look different. Here we have a quick view of permission usage history. So how many apps have access to my camera? How many apps have access to my microphone and my location? I can click view all and see the whole thing. I can see permission access within the last 24 hours or the apps access within the last 24 hours or 7 days. So that's right in front of you, so you can see it easy as soon as you go in there. And then we do have the permission manager here. If you click that, it shows you the same thing in a slightly different look. So we're going to go back, all right? And we have all these extra options: controls and alerts, camera access, mic access, show clipboard access. So allow apps and services to use the camera, yes, but if you don't want it, boom, you disable it. You don't have that option here. This is a kill switch for all apps from accessing the camera, the mic, or the clipboard. This is just great. And I did forget to mention, under privacy, all the way down, we also do have this brand new private computer compute core menu. When you click it, you have the option to clear data that your device has learned about you. And you can click here to learn more about device learning. So when I do click that, it takes me to a website and I can actually read about it if I so desire. But if you want to clear all that stuff, it's right here. So let's go back out. There was one more thing here that was important. So location, you'll see under location app permissions, we now have this option. If I click on an application, I can actually enable use precise location or disable it for additional security, so the app does not know the precise location, but they have an approximate location of my proximity. Okay, so that's new here under location permission as well. So that's mostly the differences under settings. Everything else is mostly the same. There are some differences under battery and device care. So if I click these guys, you'll notice that device care looks different. We got the smiley faces instead of the numbering system. Okay, if I click on optimize now, the button's at the bottom. Here the button has moved to the top. All right, and as you can see, this one gives you a number, this one gives you a smiley face saying it's great. If I scroll down, I have additional care options. I can access my software updates, and I can access my diagnostic utilities. I did go into detail about this in a previous video, so I'm going to skip this, but this is new right here. And battery, we do have two great features. One of them is the protect battery feature. That's going to protect your battery if you enable it by limiting the charge to 85%. And then we have the processing speed. Again, we talked about this in the quick toggle. You can choose between 3 as opposed to 1 that was right here. So that's fantastic. But these are most of the settings that are different under the settings menu. Let's see if I tap on a folder. Is anything different? Nope. So if I click here and if I click here, it's the same exact menu to change the colors and customize. If I press and hold on an application, let me find the same application. Press and hold. Press and hold. So it looks the same. So that's great. Now we do have a slight difference in the always on screen. So I'm going to go over here, settings, and we are going to go to the lock screen. Okay, lock screen. And then when I go into always on display, I now have the option to show the always on display when I get actual notifications. So anytime I get a new notification, boom, the always on display shows up. That could be a little bit convenient, so you can quickly glance without even touching your phone, and if it's not important, you move on. And it does not eat much battery because it's the always on display, and it turns off in a couple seconds. So that's a new option right there. Now we don't have any new clock styles. It's all the same, as you can see, in case you're wondering, and the whole thing is a little bit different in looks, but mostly the same. When I go into my clock, and if I run a timer, let me just run a timer for 6 minutes here, and let's do one for 6 minutes right here. Let me click on start. When I go home, you can see nothing happens. When I go home here, we get a little thing right here pop up all over the screen that you can move back and forth. You can go back into it and whatever. Okay, so that's great. Let's end this over here. Now we also have some differences in the camera, so I'm going to launch the camera application on both of these phones. First, let's quickly go to the settings. There's some slight modifications to the overall structure. For example, we have the picture formats here. When I go inside, I have these two options. Here it said format and advanced options. Okay, a couple extra options here. Now if I go back over here, everything else is the same. So no difference in that. Now when you go into the Pro Video mode, by default, what they have is they have the grid lines enabled. Here you have to enable them manually. And also you look at this and things look a little bit different. So it's a little bit more cleaner interface as opposed to this. For example, the ISO, you have a circle. Here it just says ISO. I'll be honest with you, I like this one a little bit better over here. On the top, we have one extra thing here, which is this guy right here. It says not available in the current video size. Let's go to FHD 60. Okay. So look at that. That's the contrast. So we don't have that right here. I think we have it somewhere at the bottom here. But anyway, let's go back. When you go to the photo mode, when you press and hold, what happens is it starts to record. But when you let the button go, it stops to record. Let me just show that to you. Turn off. So look, press and hold, record. Let go, stops. Now here you can press and hold, records, and then you can swipe up to lock it in place so it continues recording under photo mode when you want to quickly make a video. Single take looks a little bit different here. So if I tap here and here, you can see we have a slight change here and here, almost with a few modifications, but mostly it looks a little bit different. I can tap on OK. The overall thing looks different too. Look at that. Let me see how it feels going back and forth. Now in the photo mode, zoom in numbers are now included. So that's wide angle, standard, 3 times optical, 10 times optical. Here we have the photos. And look at the numbers, they look a little bit different as you can see. And one more cool thing is when I zoom in all the way out, look at what happens here. So I'm going to do them both. I'm going to wait a little bit. They're going to go back to the regular view. But over here, it's still going to say 100x. And here it does not say, even though we're 50 right now, the max for this phone, it does not say 50. Here it says 100. And if I were to go down and just stop here, look at that. It's going to stop and show me 38.7 at the bottom. Let's wait. There we go. So that's a nice little reference point for anybody. Now we do have some modifications to the gallery. So if I go into any album, so here's an album. If I pull this down with One UI 4.0, it shows you a picture from the album as a preview. Now when I click on this guy right here, and if I pull this down, you're not going to see it. You're just going to see the name of the album. Here I see the name of the album, and also I'm going to see the thing on the top. And also with the One UI 4.0, when I click on this, and if I tap over here, and if I go to remaster picture, look at this. Let me do the same thing here. Let's remaster the photo here. So they're both remastered. I'm going to save it. After I save it, on the top we had a little icon that says remastered. Once both photos are remastered, what I can do is with this one, if I click here, and with this one, when I click here, I can revert this back to the original. By the way, notice how these options are at the bottom here, and this option here is at the top. So everything else is at the bottom here, but this one is on the top for some reason. So that's the gallery, not a major change here. Yeah, so that's basically the big differences between the two. Now more features will hit One UI 4.0 as we get more beta updates. So there's still some features missing that we were unable to show that are supposed to come from Android 12. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below. Let me know. For now, guys, have a fantastic day. Alright, so if you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe to SAKITECH by clicking that button, and also click that bell icon on the side to make sure you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you do use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you can follow me at SAKITECH Online to get the latest updates as well. Alright, have a fantastic day.